find a bit strange. If you look straight ahead at 11 o'clock, can you see there's an unfinished house up on the hill there? You can see the main structure, you can see they put a roof on the top, but they haven't finished it. This often happens, people start building homes, and then maybe they go to build it for their children, maybe they're building it, mainly for their children, I should imagine. They get so far, but of course costs go up, and they think that there's no rush to build it, because they might start it and think, okay, in 10 years time we'll have finished the house, but then maybe plans change or money runs out and things like that, so you get quite a few structures which are just sort of left. Can you see those ones over there? Let me see the left. Near where I live in northern Italy, there was this house that they were building, and they got way beyond that structure really, and then the money ran out. It just stood there for ages and ages and ages, and then it was just demolished. So it's just it can be the financial situation, it can be that the family the makeup of the family changes, maybe things happen, fallouts happen in families and things like this. But sometimes, these projects, which were maybe projected to be completed over a period of years, they just don't get finished, they're just left. So you do see sort of not abandoned properties, but properties in construction where nothing has changed for a long, long time. On the left-hand side here, I imagine this is an old sort of tower-like fortress that they have actually converted into, a modern residence there that you can see up on the left. Somebody's living up there. And looking to our right-hand side, we can see again, the raised hilltop towns. There's a few of them there that you can see high up on the hill. Those would have originally been, Etruscan or Etruscan settlements really, because it wasn't, common for the Romans to build on hilltops. Folks, what I'd like to do just now, before we come over towards Orte, is just very, very quickly run through the itinerary with you, just so that you know what we've got planned for you, right, for the next few days, and so that you can plan, your own activities as well, so that you know how much free time you're going to be having, what we've got planned, and everything like that, right? So I'll just very, very quickly go through it. You have got all of this in your client documents, which maybe you've printed out in paper format, or maybe you've got them, on your phones or on your laptops or tablets and things. But I'll just go very, very quickly through so that you know what we are doing. So today, leaving Rome, going over to Orvieto, lunch in Orvieto, driving across to Assisi, time to visit Assisi, and the Spello excursion this evening for those of you who would like to come to Spello. And otherwise, a beautiful evening in Assisi. Tomorrow morning, we leave pretty early, and we're going to be going over to Florence, and we have our lunchtime and sightseeing and shopping time in Florence, right? We will be leaving Assisi quite early tomorrow morning, right, because we have got quite a drive to get to Florence, but we're hoping to be in Florence by sort of between 10 and 11, and we'll be meeting up with our local guide, because you have a fully guided tour in Florence to take you through the beautiful historical centre of the city of Florence. On the left hand side here we've got a statue of St. Rita. Can you see this white statue coming into view? She's the patron saint of the Italian freeways, so she's raising her arms and blessing everyone, protecting everybody on the freeway. That's St. Rita, okay? Because Umbria, which is this region that we're just skirting through, is the actual land of the saints, right? St. Francis, St. Rita, Santa Chiara, St. Benedict even. Now, keep looking to the left, wait a little while, and we will get a really nice view of Orte. So, originally Etruscan, the Romans came along. The Romans weren't that interested, but they did settle, for a while here in Orte. That's one little view there, but you'll be getting another one in just a few minutes too. You can take a few and then you can cancel the ones that you don't like. The Lombards came along and the Lombards took over this little town as well. A little bit the same as the history of Orvieto, really. And then it was taken over by the popes when this part of Italy was divided up and given over into what came under what we call the papal state, because there'll be no more undergrowth to the left-hand side. Just now, when these bushes come to an end. See how close to the edge the houses are built? Right on the edge, and you can see the caves that have formed right in the tufa rock. You can see the aqueduct there on the left-hand side, look. Because again, if you're in a raised position, then of course you've either got to go down to the valley every day to get your water, or you've got to have we have the little town of Orvieto. If you can have your little headsets handy, everybody, I am going to be talking to you a little bit as we're going up there. I'm not allowed to guide you actually up at Orvieto, but I'm just going to be pointing out a few little places and giving you a few details as to what we're going to be doing. It's 2 years, right, to actually take it over from the Etruscans, because it's such an amazing naturally defended position. They didn't really have to build walls around it because it's already got its natural foundations, which is this huge rocky outcrop. It's high up on the rocky outcrop. Now you can see from the paper that I've given you, right, just looking at the page where you can see the facade of the cathedral. There's a huge cathedral up here, right? Town of 20,000 people, little village, right in the heart of Umbria, really. You know, why is there such a big church found up here? Well, the little town, when as I say, it flourished under the Romans, it flourished under the Lombards, and it became an independent little city-state. It was ruled over by the Podesta. Right, the Podesta, which is like the governing, like the council, right, the local council. When you go for a little walk, right, on your own, you can go over to the political heart of the city. Many of these medieval towns, they had a religious heart and a political heart. The religious heart is where you find the Duomo, right, the cathedral, and the political heart would be where you find the town hall, or the seat of the Podesta, who was this governing council when the city was actually an independent little city-state. Now, it just so happened that in the 1200s, there was a priest who'd come over from Prague, and he was on his way down over to Rome, because Rome was, even then, right, this very important sort of magnet for Christians, right, for religion. And so this gentleman, this priest from Prague,